Hi, I'm doing a video here on the bcf2000 from Behringer. This is the USB remote control motorized control surface for Sonar in this case. This video is going to cover the installation of the Behringer bcf2000 drivers, the MIDI driver, and then setting it up in Sonar. It's also going to go over the actual use of the device in Sonar in the second part. So let's go ahead and start. The first thing that I'm going to make an assumption here, and that is that you know how to install a USB peripheral to your computer. You're going to download a driver, a MIDI driver. You're going to turn the unit off, install the drivers, turn the unit on, follow standard protocol in installing the drivers, and then your system itself, Windows, should recognize the bcf2000. To do those things, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go out to Behringer's website. You're going to go to Support and then Downloads. And then inside of there, the B Control section. Down here underneath the bcf2000, you'll find all the things that you need to download. The first thing will be this bcf2000 version 1.1 hardware driver. That'll be your Windows driver to recognize the device. Below that, you'll see this USB MIDI driver. This will be the driver that allows Sonar to see the bcf2000 as a MIDI device. You'll also probably want to get this BCF View application here. That is a virtual LCD screen, since unlike the Mackie control, the BCF does not have a row of LCD controls across the top of it. It would be nice if it did, but that's what keeps it at $199. At any rate, you'll get those three things, and then down at the very bottom, you'll see the bcf2000 emulations mode PDF document. You'll also want to get that. And essentially what that's going to cover is what the layout for Sonar is of all of the buttons. If you scroll down to the bottom of that document, you'll find the section Mackie control mapping for Sonar 3. And you'll probably want to print that out. I have a copy sitting nearby just in case I forget what the different settings are. This will go over all of the different buttons across the top here are notated here and here on these rows. You'll notice these two shift locations, that these buttons over here. These two shift locations shift these buttons to other functions. So you have the white, mute, and select would be just pressing these buttons by themselves. Solo and record enable would be holding down the top shift button while pressing one of these buttons also. And the bottom shift button would cover the dark areas here. Then also the same thing over here for your stop, play, forward, reverse, bank, forward, and back, and then the different modes. And I'll go over that here in a few minutes. Once you've downloaded the files and installed your BCF, the first thing you're going to want to do is, before you launch Sonar, you'll launch the BCF View if you choose to use that. And then you'll want to make sure that you turn off the bcf2000, and while you turn it on, in order to get into Mackie emulation mode, you're going to hold down the fourth top button here and turn on the unit. And in that case, you'll see MCSO appear up here. And that'll tell you that you're in Mackie control mode. This is also in that document here where it's telling you hold down that fourth button while you power it on. Once those things have happened, you can go ahead and launch Sonar. I already have Sonar open here. First thing to do in here is you want to go into your MIDI devices, and you're going to make sure that bcf2000 is selected as an input MIDI device and an output MIDI device. That'll allow for the bidirectional communication over the USB port. The next step is to go into Options, Controllers, and Surfaces, and you're going to add the Mackie control surface like I have here. And to do that, you click this yellow star, choose Mackie control from the bottom of the list, choose the BCF input, and the BCF output and click OK. To the right of this row, you'll see this WAI, which stands for Where Am I? And you'll probably want to enable that and what color that particular controller is going to be for you. You'll see I have this as in red. And what that'll do is it'll put down the side of your track view and along the bottom of the console view which channels, the different channels here on your BCF, are controlling which tracks in Sonar. So we're going to close out of this. Once you get there, if you right-click and display the controllers and surfaces toolbar, this is the quick and easy way to determine, it should say Mackie Control 1 here, and you should have this instead of not connected. If you do, you're probably ready to go. If you click this button over here, this will get you to the property sheet for the BCF. Now, since this is specifically controlling the Mackie control and not a BCF in emulation, there are some things on here that won't really apply to you, like this master fader section. Across the top, you've got your F1 through F8. You'll notice also, again in this PDF document, across the top here, you've got F1 through F8. So this shift button over here on the right, along with the top buttons here, will kick off the functions 1 through 8. And those functions are controlled by whatever is set here in this dialog. These are just like the key bindings, so you can go ahead and set those buttons to do whatever launch modes you want to do. You have a jog wheel resolution over here, which is beats. Your jog wheel is these two, the second buttons up. That'll go forward and reverse in beats, measures, or ticks. I usually leave mine in beats. Additionally, you have the options down here. These bottom three are the ones that I have on typically to allow soloing a channel, touching a fader on a channel will both switch to that channel in Sonar. You can automatically, for example, if I wanted to see channel 14, if I just touch the fader, you'll notice back here, 14 lights up, 13, 14, 13, 14, and this is just by barely touching that slider. And you can close out of that, and that will basically cover the setup of the BCF to get it working in Sonar. Now, the next section is going to go over the different usages and how the different modes within the BCF work.